bullet came through the window at 4:47 a.m. That's when I learned that some monsters hide behind the faces we trust most. I wasn't asleep. Haven't really slept in 2 years. Not since Medellin. Not since Sarah. I was standing at the window of Jae-sung's penthouse, watching the city wake up, when the glass exploded inward. The shot missed my head by 3 inches. Training kicked in before thought. I dropped flat. Glass rained down like diamonds. A second shot punched through where my chest had been. Jae-sung! I rolled toward his bedroom, staying low. Another shot. The bullet carved a line across the floor, sparks flying. Sniper. Long range. Suppressed rifle. Professional. The traitor wasn't waiting. They were making their move now. Jae-sung's bedroom door flew open. He came out shirtless, handgun raised, eyes sharp. No sleep in them either. We were the same kind of broken. How many? He snapped. 1 shooter. Maybe more. East building. 45 degrees, probably. The lights went out. Total darkness. Then emergency lighting kicked in. Red. Everything bathed in blood color. They cut the power, I said. This isn't just a hit. This is a breach. Jae-sung moved to a hidden panel, pressed his palm against it. It slid open. Armory. Rifles, body armor, ammunition. He tossed me a tactical vest. How long do we have? If they're smart, 3 minutes before they're inside. Then we have 2 minutes to get out. No. I strapped on the vest, grabbed an MP5. We stay. We fight. We find out who sent them. He looked at me like I was insane. Maybe I was. Lucy. There could be a dozen men coming up those stairs. Good. Then we'll have someone to question. His mouth twitched. Almost a smile. You're either very brave or very stupid. My grandmother would say both. I checked the MP5. Full magazine. How many exits? 3. But they'll have them covered. What about the panic room? North wall. Behind the bookshelf. But if we hide, they'll burn us out or wait us out. I looked at him, really looked at him. This man who'd offered partnership to a stranger. This viper trying to remember how to be human. I didn't come back from the dead to hide in a closet, I said. Did you? Something fierce lit up in his eyes. No, I didn't. Then let's teach these bastards why they should have left us alone. The emergency stairwell door exploded open. 6 men, black tactical gear, night vision goggles, military precision. But we had something they didn't expect. We had each other. Left side, I whispered. Right side, Jae-sung confirmed. We moved in perfect sync, like we'd done this 1,000 times instead of never. I came around the kitchen island low. They were sweeping high. Classic mistake. My burst caught the first man in the knees. He went down screaming. His teammate swung toward the sound. Jae-sung dropped him with 2 shots. Center mass. The man's body armor caught one. His throat didn't. Catch the other. Contact! Someone shouted. American accent. Not cartel. Mercenaries. The remaining 4 spread out. Professional. Disciplined. I grabbed the wounded man, dragged him behind cover, put my knee on his throat. Who sent you? He spat at me. Fuck you. Wrong answer. I pressed harder. His face turned purple. I can make this quick, or I can make this last hours. Your choice. The wolf. He gasped. The wolf sent us. What wolf? Paulo Reyes? No. Inside. The wolf inside. His eyes rolled back. Passed out from the pain. Jae-sung, I called out. They're calling the traitor the wolf. A grenade bounced across the floor. Move. We dove in opposite directions. The explosion shredded the kitchen. Fire and shrapnel and ringing ears. I came up firing. Caught one mercenary as he advanced. He dropped. 3 left. They were retreating now. Tactical withdrawal. They'd failed the surprise attack. But they weren't running. They were regrouping. Jae-sung appeared beside me, bleeding from a cut above his eye. They're going to come again. Harder. Let them. We need one alive. Why? Because the wolf tells me this traitor has a network. These men are just the claws. I want the brain. His smile was vicious. I'm starting to really like you, Ghost. Don't get attached. People around me tend to die. Good thing I'm already dead inside. We shared a look. Two broken people making jokes in hell. The lights came back on. Full power. Wrong. That was wrong. It's a trap, I said. The windows exploded inward. All of them. Simultaneously. Flashbangs. Smoke grenades. The penthouse became chaos. Through the smoke, I saw them. 10 more men, rappelling down from the roof. This was an invasion. Panic room. Jae-sung grabbed my arm. Now! We ran. Bullets chased us across the penthouse. I felt one tug at my vest. Another graze my shoulder. Pain like fire. The bookshelf. Jae-sung slammed, his hand on the scanner. It beeped red. Fuck. They disabled it. Then we go through them. I turned, raised my weapon. Lucy, there's too many. I didn't survive 2 years running to die in your living room. I looked at him. Trust me. He stared for half a second, then nodded. What do you need? A distraction. Something loud. He smiled. Pulled something from his pocket. A small remote. I had shaped charges installed in the support pillars, in case I ever needed to renovate. You rigged your own house to explode? I'm a cautious man. You're a paranoid psychopath. That's why we get along. He handed me the remote. You have 10 seconds after you press this. Then the whole east wall comes down. That's insane. You have a better idea? The mercenaries were advancing through the smoke. Shadows with guns. I pressed the button. The explosion was biblical. The entire east wall of the penthouse peeled away like paper. Rebar and concrete and glass dropped 40 stories. The mercenaries closest to it went with it. Their screams lasted 3 seconds. The rest scattered, trying to avoid the collapse. We moved. I put down 2 men before they recovered. Jae-sung dropped another. We moved through the chaos like dancers in hell. A mercenary lunged at me with a knife. I redirected his thrust, used his momentum, drove him into the exposed rebar. It punched through his vest, through his chest. His eyes went wide. Blood bubbled from his lips. The wolf, I hissed in his ear. Give me a name. Yoon, he gurgled. Yoon. He died. Yoon. Yoon Min-jae, head of security. Jae-sung, I screamed over the chaos. It's Min-jae. Your security chief is the wolf. His face went white. Then red. Pure rage. That bastard. That fucking bastard. I trusted him. 8 years. 8 years. A bullet cracked past his head. We dropped behind an overturned couch. Grief later, I said. Survival now. Where is he? If he's smart? Already gone. He sent these men to die while he covers his tracks. Then we take one alive. Make them tell us where he is. I looked across the destroyed penthouse. 4 mercenaries left. They were regrouping by the stairwell. I have an idea, I said. But you're going to hate it. Tell me. You surrender. He stared at me. Have you lost your mind? They want you alive. That's why they haven't just blown the whole building. Paulo wants you captured, tortured, made an example of. I gripped his shoulder. So you surrender. They'll come to grab you. And when they do... Understanding dawned. You'll be waiting. Exactly. This is the stupidest plan I've ever heard. You have a better one? He looked at the carnage. The bodies. The blood. His home destroyed. Fuck it. Let's see if the wolf's men are as loyal as he thinks. Jae-sung stood up. Hands raised. Gun on the floor. I surrender, he shouted in English. Tell Paulo Reyes he wins. I surrender. The mercenaries went, still. Suspicious. Their leader stepped forward. Big man. Scarred face. On your knees. Jae-sung knelt. Hands behind his head. I was already moving. Silent. Through the smoke. Around the collapsed wall. Behind them. Two mercenaries approached Jae-sung. Zip ties ready. The leader kept his weapon trained. Paulo is going to enjoy you, the leader said. He has special plans. Power tools. Blowtorches. He's going to make you scream for days. I'm sure he will, Jae-sung said calmly. But first, let me ask you something. What? Do you know what happens when you hunt a viper? The leader frowned. What? It bites back. I came out of the smoke like death itself. My knife took the first mercenary in the kidney. He dropped. I stripped his sidearm, put 2 rounds in the second man's skull before he could turn. The leader spun toward me. Too slow. Jae-sung grabbed his rifle, twisted it up. It discharged into the ceiling. I closed the distance, drove my knife into the leader's armpit, missed the armor, severed his brachial artery. Blood sprayed. He fell to his knees, dying fast. Jae-sung grabbed his face, forced eye contact. Where is Min Jae? Go to hell. You first. Jae-sung looked at me. Can you keep him alive? For a few minutes, maybe. I dropped beside the dying man, applied pressure to the artery. His blood soaked my hands. Warm, sticky. Listen to me, I said quietly. You're dying. 30 seconds. Maybe less. But I can make those seconds feel like hours. Or I can make them gentle. Your choice. He was fading, eyes unfocused. Where did Min Jae go? I leaned close. Tell me and I'll make it stop. Safe. House. He whispered. Warehouse. District. Unit. 47. What's the plan? What's Paulo planning? Big. Hit. Tomorrow night. Your sister. Jae-sung went rigid. I don't have a sister. The mercenary smiled. Blood on his teeth. You. Do now. Paulo. Found her. Your half-sister. Soul. He has her. You're lying. Check. Phone. The man's eyes went empty. Jae-sung stood slowly, pulled out his phone with shaking hands, opened his messages. His face crumbled. No, 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 no. He turned the phone toward me. A video. A young woman, maybe 20, tied to a chair, bruised, terrified. Korean text on a sign behind her. Paulo Reyes stood beside her, smiling at the camera. The message was in Korean. Jae-sung translated, his voice breaking. You took my brother. I take your sister. You have 24 hours to surrender yourself to me, or I send her back to you in pieces. He looked at me, lost. The Viper gone. Just a man whose world was collapsing. I didn't even know she existed, he whispered. My father. He had another family. She's innocent. She doesn't even know who I am. I stood, put my hand on his shoulder. Then we get her back. How? Min Jae knows everything. Every safe house. Every weapon cache. Every ally I have. He's given it, all to Paulo. We're alone. Exposed. Outgunned. We've been outgunned since this started. I made him look at me. But we're not alone. We have each other. And we have something Paulo doesn't. What? We have nothing left to lose. We hit the warehouse 2 hours later. No backup. No plan. Just rage and weapons and the understanding that some fights you take even when you can't win. The place was abandoned, or looked abandoned, but I saw the signs. Fresh tire tracks, cigarette butts, security cameras. Min Jae was here. How do you want to do this? Jae-sung asked. His face was stone, all emotion locked down. Fast. Loud. We make him panic. Panicked people make mistakes. And if he has more men, then we kill them too. We went in through the roof. Old skylight. I picked the lock in 30 seconds. We dropped into darkness. The warehouse was massive. Shipping containers stacked like building blocks. Shadows everywhere. Perfect ambush territory. This is a trap, Jae-sung murmured. Obviously. But he's in here, and so is information about your sister. We moved through the containers. Silent. Weapons ready. Then I heard it. Voices. Korean. 2 men. Casual conversation. I signaled Jae-sung. He nodded. We split up. I came around the left side. Jae-sung took the right. The 2 guards never saw us coming. We dropped them silently. Zip ties. Gags. Unconscious but alive. Ahead, light spilled from an office. Voices inside. We approached. Pressed against the wall. Through the window, I saw him. Yoon Min-jae. Late 40s. Hard face. Military bearing. Everything a head of security should be. And sitting across from him, casually smoking a cigar, was someone I didn't expect. A woman, mid-30s. Beautiful. Expensive suit. Park Soo-jin. Jae-sung's finance officer. Fuck. Jae-sung breathed beside me. Not her too. How much does he trust her? I whispered. Everything. She handles all the money. All the investments. She's been with me for 6 years. Then this is worse than we thought. They have your operations and your money. Inside the office, Min-jae checked his watch. They should be dead by now. The penthouse team was ordered to leave no survivors. Soo-jin smiled. Paulo will be pleased. With Kim dead, we can liquidate his accounts. Transfer everything before anyone notices. And the sister? Collateral damage. Paulo will kill her anyway. She's just bait. Jae-sung's hand tightened on his weapon. I grabbed his wrist. Shook my head. Not yet. We needed to know everything. What about Ghost 7? Min-jae asked. Paulo wants her specifically. The waitress? Soo-jin laughed. She's probably dead already. And if not, she's just a woman. How dangerous can she be? I smiled in the darkness. Let me show you. When do we move the funds? Min-jae asked. Tonight. By morning, Kim Jae-sung's empire will be Paulo Reyes' empire, and will be rich beyond measure. To new beginnings, Min-jae raised a glass. To new beginnings, Soo-jin echoed. They drank. I looked at Jae-sung. His eyes were pure murder. On 3, I mouthed. He nodded. I kicked the door open. They went for their guns. Too slow. I put a round through Min-jae's shoulder. He screamed, dropped his weapon. Jae-sung grabbed Soo-jin before she could reach hers, slammed her face first into the desk. Blood from her broken nose splattered across financial documents. Don't move. Jae-sung's voice was ice. Don't even breathe wrong. I zip-tied Min-jae to his chair. He glared at me with pure hate. Ghost 7. You're supposed to be dead. Everyone keeps saying that. I'm starting to take it personally. Jae-sung had Soo-jin on her knees, gun to her head. 6 years, Soo-jin. 6 years you ate at my table. Took my money. Smiled in my face. It was just business. Jae-sung. He backhanded her. Hard. She spat blood. Don't say my name. His voice shook. You lost that right. I crouched in front of Min-jae. Here's how this works. You tell us everything. Where Paulo is, where the sister is, what the plan is. You do that, and you get to live. He smiled, blood on his teeth. You won't kill me. You need me. No. I pulled out my knife. I need you conscious. I don't need you comfortable. I stabbed the knife through his thigh, pinned him to the chair. His scream echoed through the warehouse. "That's for every person who died tonight because of you," I said calmly. "Now, let's try again. Where is Paulo Reyes?" "Fuck you." I twisted the knife. He screamed again. "Lucy," Jae-sung said quietly. "There's a faster way." He looked at Soo-jin. She understood immediately. Went pale. "No. Jae-sung. Please. You touched my money, Soo-jin. You know what I do to people who steal from me." He looked at me. "Hold her." I grabbed Soo-jin's arm, forced her to watch as Jae-sung walked to Min Jae. 8 years, Jae-sung said softly. "I trusted you with my life. I stood at your daughter's wedding. I paid for your mother's surgery. It wasn't personal. It was always personal." Jae-sung pressed his gun against Min Jae's knee. "Tell me where my sister is. Or I take your legs. Then your arms. Then we get creative." Min Jae stared at him. Calculating. Trying to figure out if Jae-sung would really do it. "He will," I said. "I've seen men like him before. The quiet ones are always the most dangerous when you push them." "Last chance," Jae-sung said. "Where is she?" Silence. Jae-sung pulled the trigger. The sound was deafening. Min Jae's scream was worse. Soo-jin started sobbing. "I'll talk. I'll talk. Please, God, I'll tell you everything." I dragged her to the desk, grabbed a pen and paper. Addresses. Account numbers. Paulo's location. His security. His plans. All of it. "Now," she wrote. Her hand shaking so badly the letters were barely legible. When she finished, I read it. Looked at Jae-sung. "Your sister is at Paulo's compound. Outside the city. 40 men. Guarding her. He's planning to execute her tomorrow night. Live stream it. Make an example. Can we get to her?" I studied the address. The compound layout Soo-jin had drawn. "It's a fortress. We'd need an army. We have 2 people." "Exactly." He met my eyes. Understanding passed between us. This was likely a suicide mission. "I have to try," he said. "She's my blood. She's innocent. I can't let her die because of my sins." "I know." I looked at Soo-jin and Min Jae. "What about them?" "Leave them. Let Paulo find them. Let him know we're coming." "That's tactically stupid. I don't care. I want him scared. I want him to know that the Viper and the Ghost are coming for everything he loves." I smiled. "Now you're thinking like a monster. I learned from the best. We left them zip-tied in the office, took all the documents, all the evidence. As we walked out, Soo-jin called after us. "You're both dead. Paulo has 50 men. You can't win." I turned back, looked at her. "We don't need to win. We just need to make him bleed." We drove in silence for 10 minutes. Then Jae-sung spoke. "Thank you." "For what?" "For not running. For staying. For..." He gripped the steering wheel. "For being here. Anywhere. You could disappear again. Change your face. Change your name. Paulo would never find you. And leave you to die alone? What kind of partner would that make me?" He smiled. "Sad. Tired. A smart one. My grandmother would say intelligence and wisdom are different things. What's the difference? Intelligence is knowing a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad." He laughed. The sound was beautiful in its brokenness. "Did your grandmother really say that?" "No. But she would have liked it." We drove past the city limits. Toward the compound. Toward certain death. "Lucy," Jae-sung said quietly. "If we don't make it, we will. But if we don't, I want you to know, this partnership, these last 2 days, it's been the most honest thing in my life since Tae-young died." My throat was tight. Same. Since Sarah. We're quite the pair. Two ghosts pretending to be alive. Maybe that's enough. Maybe pretending is how you start to make it real. He reached over, squeezed my hand. Just for a second. Then the compound came into view. High walls, guard towers, armed patrols, exactly like Soo-jin had drawn. A fortress. A death trap. Last chance to walk away, Jae-sung said. Shut up and drive. He smiled. That dangerous viper smile. As you wish, partner. We drove toward the gates of hell together. And somewhere inside, a young woman waited to be saved by a brother she'd never met and a ghost who'd stopped running. Never met. 40 armed men stood between us and her. No backup, no plan, no chance. But sometimes, the only way out is through. Sometimes you have to become the monster to save the innocent. Episode 3. The Compound. Where we learn that some battles aren't meant to be won. They're meant to be survived. And not everyone makes it out alive.